Product 857. Can also be found live occasionally on Twitch at twitch.tv/KilroyTobias. Yes, I'm aware that all of these names are different, but we are here in Space Engineers for a requested build tour. A build tour of this, the Mothercube. And then we'll get to the Death Cube, which is a little hard to look at in this light. Okay, we'll get up right. Yes, this is a large grid. Let's see how many blocks it is. Quite a few. It's something like 40 blocks to a side, and it's a complete cube. Not sure why I have that one painted differently. I don't remember what I was doing with that. So, there is a door in. Go into the hangar. We can enter the hangar outside. The auto close timer gets a little funky. Welcome to the hangar. The hangar takes up a full third. That takes up about a third of the ship's internal volume. Now you're wondering, is that a floor on the hangar? Yes. Yes, it is. So we have a number of vessels here in the hangar. This is my... I haven't figured out how to program the AI, but this is supposed to be a modular... This is a standalone AI turret. Completely standalone turret. It counts as a separate vehicle in that we've got it's got its own internal power source. It has a gyro. It has storage. It has a lot of firepower and a lot of armor. And then of course, connector, magnetic connector with item transfer, so it can be connected to a larger grid structure. But even if it gets blown off, even if the structure gets disabled, it has its own internal storage and internal AI that it can theoretically keep firing. It can be used manually, it can be used in theory automatically. The idea is that even if it gets disconnected from its parent grid because it's designed to be a standalone thing, it can still be a functioning standalone turret. And then up here, we have basically just a tugboat. There's nothing more to it than that. We have one end is connected, has, item transfer connector and a seat directed at it. The other end is just a magnetic plate with a seat directed at it, so you can drive from either way. You can connect. So this, and it's got a whole bunch of gyros on it. It's just a tugboat, complete function over form. Nothing pretty about that. We've got jump seats everywhere, and so we've got tool storage. We've got some saws, got some drills, tool storage. The white section here is miscellaneous parking. For any vessel can this is docking spaces for vessels, with magnetic feet. Here we have a small grid pencil miner. The idea, the thought process behind this guy is that this is a self-sufficient craft. That we've got, we've got survival kit, we've got, obviously we've got grinder, we've got H2O2 generator, we've got we've got a hydrogen engine for power. Yeah, it's supposed to be a, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and you can survive on that. So we've got drills, the vacuum hopper thing, ore thing. It's supposed to be a full function. I have never actually used it in survival, so I have no idea how well it actually works. But there you are. And it is currently docked on one of the hangar's gantries. Two of these turret gantries in the hangar. We've got rotating, we've got the advanced rotator, we've got a hinge and a piston. And so we've got the gantry with a, conveyor connector. The gantries have the welders attached, but you can always take the welder off and change it out for a drill or for a grinder. We've got the vacuum scoops on the sides. The idea is that when you're, right now we're in space dock. All the ships are put away, they're all parked in the hangar. But the idea is that when out and about, the hangar is empty. So come and you park around an asteroid, and then you can take, with the drills and what have you, with, the turret control. The yellow one is with the yellow seat, and the blue one is with the blue seat over here. They've got cameras on. They've got aiming cameras on them. Let's see if I can see one. Where did I put the cameras? They're around here somewhere. Oh, well, not important right now. But the idea is that, you park around a space rock, and then you can park around a space rock, park around a Hulk, something. You can then manipulate and resource gather. The mothership can directly resource gather. So this is a large grid fighter ship. This is a large grid attack boat. We've got some self-defense turrets, armored thruster banks, and then we've got some main weaponry. We've got 3 main weaponry. We've got there we go. Right. So we've got 3 main weaponry. Obviously, we have the 2 rail guns for heavy penetration. We have missiles. We have a directed missile barrage, and then of course we've got a grinder on the front for melee damage, and then for incidental stuff is the turrets are on AI. This is a deep range explorer ship. Again, this is no pretty. This is just supposed to be fast. Get in, get out. We have a jump drive on it. We have a lot more thrusters this size needs, plenty of power, obviously a connector to resupply from the main grid, a primary cannon, an artillery cannon for main gun. So it's kind of a, it can be a fighter, but there's no armors on it, so it's got some standalone, so it's got some assemblers and refiners and what have you, just for some standalone capability. A turret for rearward thing. But big massive jump drive, so it can jump far and it can jump fast, and that's kind of the idea. Now, this guy right here, this is my prototype build. This was my prototype ship. This is my first ship that I built while playing the game. And it is an atmospheric, or it's basically just a shuttle. Now, it can work in Atmo or it can work out of Atmo, but it can't transition. Can I push the button? There we go. Push the button. There we go. Nice. Yeah. It doesn't... Well, it actually does seal, but it doesn't have a... It doesn't have an O2 generator, so it can't actually replenish. But yeah, so we've got a couple of chairs. I think it's a sealed environment. I'm not sure. Doesn't really matter. It's just a little shuttle. You know, just a little observation shuttle. Just kind of move things around. Got a magnetic foot on the bottom. Wait, let me out. Let me out. There we go. Yeah, the neat thing is that I set up the piston. The magnetic foot is on this piston that extends and retracts in time with the door, so that the door lays out flat on the landing surface. But when it's closed, it comes down and sets on those pins. Can I have a button, please? Boy, maneuvering in zero-G is a bit of a pain. Okay, and here, right here, parked next to it, is a small grid attack boat. I call this the Tombstone because it has a rearward-facing cannon, rearward-facing Gatling gun, facing Gatling guns, and of course it's got two of the small railguns for heavy penetration. It's basically the same concept as that guy, just on the small grid. And of course it has a little connector and then a magnetic foot so they can park wherever you want. Let's see, what do we want to look at next? Okay, well, we'll take a look at this. This is the dropship. As you can tell, because it's covered in hydrogen thrusters. This is a dropship. There we go. Yeah, upper. This seat is for space maneuvering and getting it. This is the docking and launch seat. This is the launch seat and docking seat. As you can see, you've got the docking connector directly in front of that seat. Now, what good would a dropship be if it didn't have anything to drop? And hence, it has a pressurized hangar with a mining rover. An armor-plated mining rover for... I forget why I wanted to armor plate. I think that's mostly just shield block, so it's just for prettiness sake. But yes, we have a drill rover. Again, the idea is that the thought process behind it is supposed to be self-sufficient. I think it's got, you know, H2O2 generator. You know, we've got a survival kit. Well, yeah, there's the recharge and heal thing. And of course, grinders and arm things. And so the doors, of course, open, and there are ramps that can be driven. You can drive up and out. The connector is on pistons, so that it extends down and drops the rover on. Can drop the rover on the floor. Of course, pick it up, get it out of the way in case we want to have guest vehicles. Magnetic plate for reasons. And then, of course, to come up here. This here is the engineering deck. This houses the hydrogen storage, the, you know, raw material storage. We have refiners and we have refining and processing capabilities in here. It is a bit of a nightmare to maneuver in 0G, or otherwise. But we can get to all of the systems here and to perform repairs, especially hull breach repairs. So here's the door. Yeah, a lot of storage, a lot of refining capabilities, because, you know, mining dropship. Ladders suck. Okay, and then of course up here we do have medical, cryopod, respawn chamber, fun stuff. Okay. And now we've got the last thing to see here in the hangar is the heavy cruiser. This is very heavy cruiser because it is double walled. Now it doesn't have spacing armor, so it, you know, is not as potentially effective as it could be. But again, it is a semi-self. It is, you know, we've got respawn, we've got chairs. It has jump drives. We do have minimal refining and manufacturing capabilities for deep incursion missions. Fully internal maneuvering thrusters. And that's on purpose. There's a reason why the front door is over here in the thruster tunnel. And then we have an armor-plated cockpit. Ta-da! Completely armored, separate environmental space cockpit. So even if you get a hull breach, your pilot is still go. Well, that's the fleet taken care of. Let's go and look at the rest of the Mothercube. Come on, let me in the door. Thank you. Oh, okay. So we have a. This is the hangar. This is the hangar control seat. So obviously it's faced out the hangar door, and I suppose, and I've been hinting at it, and I will show you. I will explain. You may have guessed it by now, but we'll leave that for later. Yeah. For maneuvering when get the hangar into the correct position, should we need it. Up, please. Can I? Welcome to the engineering deck. Now, yes, this is rather spacious and open, and this is all these sizes and what have you is more for appearance sake, just so that it looks impressive from the outside. The reason why there's so much empty space and so much glass is because the Mothercube is less than 25,000 PCU. It can be spawned by a single person in a survival server. That was the That was the whole point. Obviously, you can't spawn the blueprint that has the entire fleet in the hangar, because it's just the mothership, but we have many jump drives that you need a lot of jump drives to get this entire massive thing to go anywhere. We have massive power generation, massive storage. We've got a hydrogen backup, big reactors, big storage boxes. We've got the mothership is not it is not helpless. You may have noticed that it has turrets. It has external turrets that are fed via conveyor system to the main storage system, main storage and production system. We've got refiners and assembler. We've got refiner and assembler and O2 generator, H2O2 generators, and focusing right out to the hangar bay are the two rail guns. So you go and encompass a ship and drill a couple of holes in it with the rail guns. Missed that. Can you stop? Can you suck to the floor, please? Jesus Christ. Crime a Netley. Okay. On to level 2. Each level, of course, is a separate environmental space. This here is medical. Not a whole lot here, but this is where the H2O2 generator is. We've got some cryopods, we've got the respawn point, and obviously we have an internal turret pointed directly at the respawn point. I think I've got a safe space. I think this is a safe space module. Yeah, that's a safe space marker, but you know, doesn't hurt to be sure. So yeah, this here's medical, so everything, you know, life and health related. And finally onto deck 3. Please. Here we have command. So we've got transmission antennas, we've got, this is where the AI block is, we've got some more gyros, we have store blocks, we've got contract blocks. This is a programmable block. Access to the conveyor system. This is the timer block. We've got a program block, timer block. It's all here. I have no idea what to do with the programmable block. Whereas I think that's what's running the doors. But more things can be hit. And then of course we have the main cockpit. Now we don't actually have a airlock on the main cockpit, but it is a separate environmental space. This is the main helm, obviously we're up at the top, and then we've got a different forward. So, the main level is protected with 4 AI artillery turrets, 1 on each corner. The other faces are protected with a single turret at the center of them. You can see that one there. And of course we have a internal turret. We've got jump seats in strategic locations. We have an internal turret pointed at the door. More jump seats. Okay, let's go take a look at what I've been hinting at with the, where is the, oh yeah, that's over here. I went the wrong way. Can you please walk smoothly? You gotta be quick with the auto closed doors. I wish I knew how to program it so that it, you know, actually functioned like an airlock and not just a, you know, and not just a loop command for door close. It wasn't just a loop command, you know, a continuously running loop command for door close, which I could actually figure out. You open the door and it stays open, you know, until I walk in, and then that one doesn't close until I go and trigger the next one, but the next one doesn't open until that one closes. I wish I knew how to do that, but that is currently beyond. Yeah, can I have the... Thank you. Open the damn door. Christ. That's where we run out of gravity. Okay. Now, here's where things are going to get fun. May Clang have mercy on our souls. Mm-hmm. Ta-da! Open the fucking door. Yes! The entire bottom of the cube opens. Isn't it fucking glorious? And look at these custom designed hinges. Got hinge block, we've got piston, and then a special bracket that brings it up and around. Edge, you know, you saw it from the outside. It was a smooth, continuous cube. Oh, this took a lot of iteration to get going and get right. And then, of course, for closure, whoop. I don't know which way I'm pointing. Ah, there we are. We have, you know, magnetic connectors. So they're not connected to conveyors, so they don't do anything other than just close the door. Glorious, isn't it? May Clang be praised. Now, this is the Death Cube. This one is, well, this is the main gun. As you can see, it is a lot of artillery cannons, fixed artillery cannons in a massive barrage. They can, of course, you know, you can reprogram it so that you get a cycling fire, or, you know, right now it's just a single barrage, you know, single repeating barrage. But, you know, if I wanted to get fancy, I could, you know, spiral pattern, so for a faster fire rate, but less damage per shot, you know, that kind of thing. Each face of the cube has 4 turrets, all connected to conveyor network. We've got artillery turrets, we've got missile turrets, and we've got artillery turrets. I forget which ones. Well, no, is it missile turrets? Okay, this face is all artillery turrets. And then we've got, so the side face, we've got 2 Gatlings and 2 artillery. And then, of course, on the, you know, all the other faces are 2 artillery and 2 Gatling. And then the rear face is, you know, front face is 4 artillery. We've got for small grids and dealing with small grids and missiles. We get dealing for big grids. You know, so plenty of automatic return fire capabilities. We have, as you can see, we have lots and lots of thrusters. So we've got massive thruster redundancy. Of course, you need all this thruster power just to be able to move, and so every direction has the same number of thrusters. So it can move forwards, backwards, left, right, or up and down with equal speed. It is a cube. Now I bet you're wondering, wow, this can't be. Now this is a Death Cube. This is a battleship. This is armored to the gills. We have an outer layer. We have space under the outer layer we have then a branching, a latticed network of conveyors under to supply the exterior turrets. We have batteries and what have you. The front face has got the outer layer, a secondary layer, a blast door layer, and then you've got the inner layer. Now you wonder, oh, you blow a turret off and then you can get in through the conveyor system. Well, technically true, but the conveyor system makes a turn. There is no straight line into the, you know, always all conveyors make a turn. There are no straight lines to the outside. There's no weakened material, straight lines to the outside. Let's see, where is the back? There's the back, it's over here. So we do have an entrance. Even that. Oh, maybe to get a lucky shot through the door. Well, try. But again, not a straight line, because you duck and you go. Now this, the inner hull has a 3-door airlock. This is indeed a sealed this one, the inner hull is a sealed compartment. We have our fuel storage. We have a couple of jump drives. We do have some refining and assembly capabilities for the purpose of resupply in the field. Lots and lots and lots of gyros, because this thing is massive. Now, it's not very fast, not to maneuver. However, you can damn near spin it on a dime, but it's meant to be, you know, meant to be a tank. I don't actually have any encounters going, and I wish I knew how to adjust the third-person camera. I forget the buttons, but there you are. It functions. That's cockpit number 2. Where did I put cockpit number 1? Or is that just a bad naming because I had to reposition it? I don't remember. There might be an auxiliary command. Or that might be the battle bridge. There might be a command. There might be a primary command that's in a better position, camera-wise. I don't remember. Yeah, that's my death cube. Now, these guys, these doors here are just kind of irrelevant. They're more just like, yeah, you can just fly in through the thruster holes and get to. You know, the outer hull is just for extra. It's armor it's anti-ship armor. It's not anti-personnel armor. The inner hull is for anti-personnel armor, and this thing is layer upon layer upon layer, and yeah, it's silliness. It's absolute silliness. I have no idea how well it would work in a protracted battle. I suppose it all comes down to the efficacy of the turret AI and how good of a support crew you have to keep it repaired. Because, you know, no tank is eternal. It is built to be a tank. It is built to be a tank to the best of my understanding of the game's combat mechanics. Admittedly, not very much. That's the idea, is overwhelming armor, overwhelming firepower, trying very hard to still be maneuverable. But mostly it's a portable turret. It's a portable turret box. So you can warp in, you jump in, you're not going to be moving around a whole lot. You're probably best off to turn the dampers off, and that way you can see, and then your moving target. And then of course you rotate, and there you go. All right, now let's close the doors. You guys want to see you want to see Clang get angry, don't you? Yeah. And I have. Fuck you! I'll go through the big door. Aha! How now, brown cow? Yeah. So, the process to close the doors is exactly the same as open, just in reverse. So, this button toggles the lock on the hinges. So without the lock, the doors tend to waggle. We now begin the hinge closing sequence. When it gets about here, we can then trigger the pistons. Wait for the doors to settle. Trigger the magnets. Now we go out and we double check the locks. I'm showing green. I'm showing green. 1, 2, 3, and 4, all green. Perfect. The doors are now successfully closed. Unfortunately, this, as we all know, wedges to blocks don't actually create a seal. This, in theory, should have created a seal because we've got, well, except for the fact that, you know, the shield plates on the outside don't actually close. Those don't actually close. But, you know, so no, the hangar can't be pressurized. Would be neat if it could. Hangar on the jump ship's pressurized. But that's because I didn't make custom doors. I used stock doors. But I guess that's really all there is left to say. So. Wow, okay. Rude. Open the damn door. Thank you. Yeah, I need help. I need help with programming. So, that's going to end this build tour, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming along for the ride.